All right, cool. Good morning, Sam.
Oh, Adam's opening up the show today. Look at this. He's feeling good after this long, weird weekend of sports in Detroit. Welcome to Woodward Sports. Good morning. It's 8 a.m., so that means we start our 8 a.m. sports talk live right here on Woodward. And if we can get a shot of Adam right now, you got the Woodward Sports vehicle right behind us. Compliments of Zott Jeep Chrysler on M59. What a beautiful vehicle that is, man.
Oh, it's a monster.
So if you're rolling down Woodward and 15 Mile heading south, make sure you look for the Woodward Sports vehicle. We're very proud of it. We took it to Ann Arbor Saturday. We'll talk about that experience a little bit later on. But how was your weekend, Adam? What did you do?
Well, I hunted Saturday.
You hunted?
Yeah.
What did you hunt?
Pheasants.
Did you get any pheasants?
I did.
How many pheasants?
I got 3.
Is it hard to shoot a pheasant?
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you mean?
You got to lead it a little bit. So you got to shoot a little over it, and then you got to lead it.
Use bird shot, so you're just like shooting a ton
You're shooting
of
a 12
pebbles
gauge.
at it?
Yeah, you're shooting a 12 gauge.
A 12 gauge for a pheasant.
Yeah, it's a 6 shot. So hey, those fuckers are quick, man.
Apparently, man, that is
it's fun though.
That is a lot of manpower for a pheasant.
Well, I had to let off some steam after that Saturday game, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, let's talk about the Michigan game in a little bit, because when we do that, I want to bring over Joey and Kory, because they were both out at Ann Arbor with me on Saturday. But let's get into the Lions game, man. I'm not super disappointed in this game.
Nope.
We knew it was going to be a tough game, and what I'm looking forward to is their schedule after this game. So, not that I'm already over this 41-21 ass whooping, but it's one of those you just got to put in your rear view, right?
I wasn't surprised at all. We've lost 4 football games this year. Let's forget the Bears loss. So 3 football games. We got our asses kicked in all of them. And we got dominated by the Atlanta Falcons, but we stole that. So it wasn't surprising to see a good football team, an organized football team, lay it down on us. So.
No, and it kind of how they won was exactly how the Lions had to win.
That was our keys to the game before.
We talked about it in the pregame too. Like, the Lions needed to force a pick 6. The Lions needed to play the game from ahead. The Lions needed to control the run. And we didn't do any of that. We did control Jonathan Taylor, but we forgot they have 2 other running backs that did pretty well. Wilkins and Hines tore us up, man.
Yeah, we went over in the pregame. Detroit needed to force turnovers. They forced none. They got 0 pressure on Phillip Rivers, who is literally immobile. He can't move.
Dude, he threw 3 touchdown passes in the second quarter, and that was it. That's all he had to do was 3 touchdown passes in the second quarter, and then we looked like crap the rest of the game.
It was frustrating to watch, but that is what this football team is, and it's what it's been not just under Matt Patricia. This is what we've been even with Jim Caldwell. We're a football team that can't beat good football teams.
Okay.
We sneak away with wins against football teams that are on our level. And then we sneak by against teams that are worse.
Right.
And this has been, and I don't want to get into the conversation of comparing coaches, but this is what we've been. And for me, I'm looking at the quarterback yesterday, and I'm looking at the head coach, because that was very disappointing. And Matthew Stafford, you do not want me to tell you what his record is against winning football teams. You do not want me to tell you.
See, and that's the thing with the people that love Matt Stafford. They are first to tell you about all his fourth quarter comebacks, about all the yardage that he's piled up, but then they will ignore about all the leads that we've blown. And like we've been discussing all season, Matt Stafford is at his best when he's managing a game. When he's trying to bring you from behind and he's taking those risks with that gunslinger mentality that we all love, and he can make throws from all those arm angles. It's like, yes, he can, but should he? That's always been, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And Stafford, I mean, he kind of took us completely out of that game.
That pick 6 was absolutely
the fumble sack,
horrible.
The fumble sack was worse.
Yeah.
Then you come back and compound it with a pick 6, and now all of a sudden it's a 3-score game. Like, we were in that game. We were doing well. We had the recipe for success. We just didn't have the run. If we had a running game yesterday, it would have helped us tremendously.
I was so frustrated watching Adrian Peterson line up in the backfield, going for 0, going for 1, punt it, come back, go for 1, go for -3.
It's almost like they forgot about DeAndre Swift in that first half. Like, I was wondering, where's Swift? And then Carry On gets a lot of the love. like you watched what Indy did with their platoon of players, and Jonathan Taylor got his 12 carries, Naheem Hines got his 10 carries. We don't have that balance. It's to me, Patricia just kind of just throws that and is like, I don't know, man. Let's go with Kerryon Johnson today.
I felt like we were predictable on Sunday, and the Colts weren't. Naheem Hines absolutely destroyed us.
Yes,
he was going in motion. You would figure he's running out of the backfield. He goes uncovered until maybe 6 yards down the field.
Well, we were trying to have a linebacker track him when he went in motion, and that was the problem.
I don't like calling out players, but Tavai is an absolute bust.
He's slow.
He is slow.
He's slow.
He's an offensive lineman trying to play fucking middle linebacker. Come on.
He's definitely slow. We got to say what's up to Mitch Miller and my man Sean Dondada checking in. Sean, we got to get you a T-shirt one of these times, man. Once again, nobody guessed the score because who would have guessed 41-21 yesterday?
Yeah. No. Yesterday was a bad loss. It does not mean the season's over.
No.
It's not an overreaction Monday. But you know what? This is what we are as a football team. Green Bay shellacked us. The Saints honestly should have been a larger margin of victory, and beat the Cardinals. That was a good win, but God, it's really, you wouldn't expect that from a team off 2 wins. Really, building that momentum, walking into a Colts team that before this game, there were questions. Not that they didn't have the talent or the roster or the coaching, as they couldn't put a performance like they did on Sunday against Detroit together, and boy, did they show up.
Yeah, they did, and they're a good football team, and we knew that. We knew that coming in. Like, we discussed this. This is how I would want the Lions to build for the future. Like, the Colts aren't there yet. I think once Rivers leaves and they're able to hand that offense over and make it a more high-powered offense, Colts will be all right. I like their foundation. Here's a funny stat, though. Can you believe the Lions haven't won in Ford Field in over a year?
Oh, wow.
Over a year, and we haven't won in Ford Field. Now, obviously, this Ford Field that was happening yesterday was not like the raucous Ford Field of old where the place is shaking and vibrating, fans are going nuts. Even Kelly Stafford was there, and she said it was dead. And then Phillip Rivers said the first quarter it was almost impossible to get energy into that stadium. He said it was deader than he's ever played anywhere. And they had 500 fans there. Not saying that's a lot, but still, he's played in other stadiums this season, and it hasn't been that dead. Why do you think there was zero energy in Ford Field?
Well, other than that blocked punt, the team didn't really give the fans a reason to be energetic.
Well, there's no fans anyways.
Well, the Colts walked down and scored right away, 3 and out, scored right away, and the game was over. Next thing you know, I mean, whether fans were there or not, that was a rough second quarter. That's a second quarter you try to just.
It's weird that the players have to self-motivate now, because there's a lot of players who feed off that energy of the fans. Like you make a big hit, the crowd's going crazy, you feel like a god, you want to get back out there and do it again. Now you make a big hit, woo, good job.
Well,
like one hand clapping for you, and that's it. It's got to be so weird for these guys. These guys are like modern-day gladiators, used to playing in Roman arenas with people going nuts, drinking, partying, fights in the stands, and now it's just Kelly Stafford and the triplets sitting up there watching Maddie. It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, they fed off of the block punt. They walked in, play action pass. They looked unpredictable at the time. Through that beautiful pass to Marvin Jones, everything was looking upbeat.
Marvin Jones looked great yesterday. Yeah. And honestly, that's something Anson and I were discussing in the pregame, because he's going back and forth on Marvin Jones, and we discussed when he needs to be the number one,
he plays it.
He's a great number one. The problem is we have Kenny Golladay, and we push him to the number 2 wide receiver, so he's not the greatest number 2 wide receiver in the world. But if you put him in that 1 slot, he'll put up numbers like he did yesterday.
Yep. I'm just saying, I did call 2 touchdowns for Marvin Jones yesterday.
Did you? When?
Pregame. Not pregame, my preview article.
Oh, in your preview article?
Yeah,
nice.
He didn't get the yardage that I expected, but he got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he definitely got. I like Marvin Jones. I thought when they signed him after Calvin, you're never going to replace Calvin Johnson, but at least he was serviceable.
Oh, yeah.
And then who would have thought we would have snagged Galladay late in the draft like we did and pushed Marvin Jones out? So I'm happy with Marvin Jones. I hope he sticks around. Marvin, if you're watching right now, you got some fans right here, don't he?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about Kerryon Johnson actually getting a touchdown this year? That was nice.
That was nice. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this 3 running back model. Every week it's different. You know, I feel like we're overthinking it.
Swift is the guy.
Swift
Can we
has
agree
to
on
be
that?
the guy.
He has to be the guy.
He has to be. I mean, I can't see him get 7 touches yesterday, passing and rushing. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No,
For
you got to work this
that
guy into the
talented
offense.
of a running back, but if we're gonna
Paul said we should rename him the Detroit football team. Take away the
Detroit football
Lions.
team.
Shout out to Paul Stewart watching right now. Kenny Burke, he did say it would be a blowout, and he did say that in the pregame when we had him guess the score. So he knew the Colts were going to blow us out.
That's fair enough. Well, we should have expected it if we looked at our schedule and how we've played against good football teams. But
I do like our schedule moving forward. The next 4 teams we play have a combined 8 wins on the season. And one of those came yesterday. So before yesterday, they only had 7
Minnesota
wins.
next week is a very tricky game, though. That is, we could be 4th place in the division after next week, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Once again, stopping the run is the only
So
focus
important.
next week.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that Minnesota
Well, you know,
offense
we
coming
talked about this. Make Phillip Rivers throw the ball. But shit, he looked like Joe Montana in his prime yesterday. So what happens if we make Kirk Cousins throw the
that
football?
T-Rex delivery, man. I love Phillip Rivers not only that, just because he has 12 kids. Like, Phillip Rivers stays pumping. Like,
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers is a baby-making machine. And
That's
while
right.
he's not making babies, he uses his little T-Rex throwing motion and just completes bombs to people. Like, how does that guy get that ball out, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But the Lions sit a game and a half out of the final 7th place wildcard spot.
Jesus.
But they have work to do. They're behind the 5-3 Bears and the 5-3 Rams.
Right.
That's not including that the Cowboys or the Eagles will have a playoff spot based on their division wins. So they're actually behind 3 teams, but they're a game and a half out of that actual spot. So there's season's not over.
So let's look at the next 4 games because I'm a big schedule watcher.
Okay.
We got Minnesota. They're 2-5. Winnable game, right? Winnable?
That's a very risky game, but yeah, winnable.
Winnable. That's
Sure.
all I'm asking. Washington football team
Winnable.
should be a winnable game.
Or we should be, like your buddy said, we should be called the Detroit football team.
Detroit
if we
football
can't beat
team.
them.
The Carolina Panthers, winnable game. And then Houston Texans, winnable game. And then Chicago, which has shown Chicago is who we thought they were. The last 2 weeks have kind of revealed what Chicago is. Nick Foles, not the solution.
answer.
They even put Mitch Trubisky back in yesterday to run a
embarrassing
stupid
is that?
wildcat play. Like,
It's so
make a decision, Nagy. You're looking like an idiot. But that being said, so let's just say we go 2-1 over the next 3, right?
Yep, that'll leave us at 5-5.
5-5, 6 games less than the season.
We'll still be a game and a half out. We can't lose a game right now. We have to take it 1-0 at a time.
Yep.
That's how this team has to think. That's how this team has to play. They have to win every game going forward for the next 3 weeks. They have to be 6-4. 5-5. By then, the Rams would be 6-4 or 7-3. That wild card spot is going to be a 10-win minimum spot. So, you know, there's not many losses left for Detroit. They got 4 right now. They can afford 2 more. And we know the back end of their schedule is very difficult.
So you think they got to go 10-6
They have to go 10-6 if they want a shot
at what? The Super Bowl?
at the 7 seed.
No.
Yes. Okay, Sam, please. The Cowboys and the Eagles will be a 7-8-1 football winning division, right?
Right.
You have football teams. The Bears are 5-3, and I know they're gonna plunge out, but that doesn't mean anything because the Rams technically right now hold that last wild card spot. They're 5-3. We have the 49ers who are 4-4, but they're so hurt. I don't see them really competing for that last spot.
Kittle, man, come back, Kittle.
Oh man, he killed me yesterday
Yeah,
getting
he
hurt.
killed me too.
So there's a lot of good football teams that are above us right now, and it's like 10 wins is what it's gonna have to be for 6th or 7th. I don't see them getting anything higher than that.
See, I see us getting in the playoffs at 8-8.
No way.
I think we can get in at 8-8.
How?
Just
What, the
because
Rams gonna lose 5 games?
Just because of the amount of teams that they're allowing in this year. There's
7.
one more team.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more than that normally makes it.
So we got Seattle.
You got the NFC West,
You got
right?
the-
You got
two
those
N-
four.
three NFC West teams.
I'm thinking of 4 could make it from the NFC West.
Niners, they're not gonna. It would take a miracle for that team. They're so hurt. I would be surprised. But I would say guarantee 3 teams make it in.
Okay, 3
We got
teams?
the Packers.
Packers.
Right now we got the division
Whoever
winners,
out of the East.
Division winners from the East. So
Okay.
that's 5. We got 2 wild card spots right now.
Okay.
Who am I missing, America? I am missing the Bears right now at 5-3. I'm losing
Who am
my
I missing, America? Or everybody on Facebook Live right now?
We got the Bears at 5-3. Who else?
Spiro agrees with you. He says 8-8 ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, there's no way 8-8 makes it. 10 wins is
9-7. What do you think? 9-7.
It's gonna take a collapse by so many teams. Here, let me read it to you right now. So you got the Seahawks at 1.
Yep.
We got the Packers at 2.
Okay.
The Saints at 3. Those are 3 division winners. At 4, we got the shitty NFC East.
Yep.
All right, cool.
So there's your 4 division
now we got
winners.
the Cardinals.
Yep.
We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we got the Los Angeles Rams at 7. And there's no way those teams are going to walk in at 9-7. I think 10-6, and it's going to be based on head-to-head. It's going to be really close. Detroit can't afford to lose a game.
Well,
in the next
then
4
I hate
games.
to break it to you. I don't see the Lions getting to 10-6 this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my money on it.
Yeah.
They have 3 losses left in the book for sure. You know,
Yeah.
they got to beat Tampa Bay later in the year. I know it's a home
Green
game.
Bay.
They got to win a game against Green Bay. I mean, they have to go 3-3 in the division. They're already 0-2.
And they got to beat Tennessee. Like, week 14, 15, and 16 should decide. I mean, obviously it will decide, but
That's why these
Green
next
Bay,
4 games.
Tennessee, Tampa. That's why these next, actually 5 games.
Bears? Are you including
We
the
got
Bears?
Minnesota, Washington, Carolina, Houston, and the Bears. Yeah, I think by that time the Bears will just be
I'll make a
done.
very, very bold claim. If the Lions somehow manage to finish 4-2 in the division, I think they make the playoffs. But if they lose once to the Minnesota Vikings,
Yeah.
and they can't beat, so basically what has to happen realistically, they
Yeah,
need to go
sweep the
3-3.
Vikings.
They sweep the Vikings, beat the Bears, lose to the Packers. They're just a better football team,
Yeah.
and move on. So that's 1 loss. So now you have 5 losses. Where's that last loss coming from? Is it coming from the Bucks, the Titans? Those are 2 very losable games. If the Colts did what they did to Detroit,
The good news about playing the Bucks so late in the season is they may already have their shit wrapped up, and they may not take that game seriously in Week 16.
depends on seeding. Because if they're
Right.
the division winners, they wouldn't care. If they're the 5th or 6th or 7th wild card, they would care. Which I expect them to be 5th.
God, can you imagine if our
they don't win the
playoffs hope
division.
are riding on Tom Brady? Tom Brady beating us or losing to I'm not betting against Tom Brady in that situation. or
No,
ever.
no. I just
Let's just kind of look at what happened to New England when Tom Brady left. Like, can we all agree that it was Tom Brady more than Belichick? I'm not saying it was only Tom Brady,
I
but
wouldn't say more. I think right now it looks very good. Wait, hear me out. Let me at least say my point, and then feel free to tell me I'm wrong.
I'm already confused.
Okay, so let's just go based on yesterday's performance, right? They're 2-5 on the season. They're not a good football team. Cam Newton clearly isn't the answer, but they've been in almost every football game this year. Coaching at least is doing something, and don't tell me Cam Newton's the one carrying them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, Belichick can only take him so far. You
I
need a
agree.
Tom Brady to get him over the top. So it more to do with Tom Brady than Belichick.
I think if you give Belichick a better quarterback than he has now, but you know what? No, actually, you know what? That roster is ass. The fact that Tom Brady even won the amount of games he won last year with them,
Tom Brady.
I'll take back what I said.
Yeah.
No. I'll say it's more for Tom Brady right now, but I think Belichick still, he's.
No, Belichick's an
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
coach. I would want him here in a heartbeat. I'm not saying that. I'm just
No,
saying
of course.
when you split up the dynamic duo
He
and
won the
one
divorce.
party is doing well and the other
Tom
party
Brady won the
is
divorce.
sitting there with Cam Newton fumbling the ball with 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Like, those are the things that you can't do in a Belichick offense because he relies on his players so much to not fuck up the game for him. Like, he comes out with the game plan and all you got to do is not fuck it up. And what's Cam Newton doing? Fucking it up. He keeps dropping the ball. He keeps fumbling. He keeps intercepting. And, like, that is not – the Patriots need to stay on schedule. And when they don't stay on schedule, this is what happens. And that's what Tom Brady was really good at,
He was
keeping
reliable.
them on schedule. So I love Brady.
No, yeah, of course. I just
Wha-
Brady's winning the divorce right now for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a question.
And he gets to live in Florida compared to
Boston.
Boston, or wherever the hell he lived.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see, Adam. You want to get into where I was right and where I was wrong on the week?
Sure. Let's start with where you were right.
Yeah, let's start with where I was right. I like this part. Let's go.
All right, KJ Hamler. You said he would have a good game.
He did have a good
But
game.
boy, did he have a good game. He had the winning touchdown in the Broncos-Chargers game yesterday.
He only had 3 catches. I think it was for like 30 yards and a touchdown. So he didn't
Well, that
blow
was
the
nice
roof
to see.
off. And honestly, I've been saying KJ Hamler's going to have a bust-out week for
Oh, yeah.
9 weeks. So eventually it was right. But to have the game-winning touchdown, beating the golden boy Herbert, It was fantastic. If you don't know, KJ Hamler is a wide receiver out of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. That is my alma mater. Then he went to play for Penn State, and now he plays for the Broncos. He's been injured pretty much the entire season, hasn't really gotten his full amount of reps. But the last 2 games, he's been in the game, and then yesterday he was able to catch the game-winning touchdown pass from Drew Lock. It was amazing to watch. I was sitting there on my couch, and I started going nuts, man.
All right, let's not.
No. Let's talk about KJ Hamler. I put the article up now.
Man.
It's up at woodwardsports.com. If you're from Pontiac, this got to be a big deal, man.
All right.
Pontiac, stand up. One of your own making plays in the NFL. And then if we want to get into other wide receivers from Orchard Lake St. Mary's that did well yesterday, you got Allen Robinson. Did you see that Superman catch that he had?
He's a beast.
Allen Robinson, and then Van Jefferson out of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Three, count them, Adam. 1, 2, 3. All NFL wide receivers. Van Jefferson had 2 catches for 23 yards, but still, the fact that St. Mary's has turned out 3 wide receivers that are in the NFL that I get to watch on Sundays right now really makes me happy.
That's awesome.
It really makes
It's a good
me
story.
happy. It's fun. I love watching these kids in high school wearing the St. Mary's number 1, because if you wear that number 1 jersey, you know you're special.
That's right.
It's like Michigan.
All right. Let's talk about where you were wrong.
Okay.
All right, you were wrong about the Lions.
I was wrong about the Lions. I was right and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong in thinking they would win, but I was right in what they had to do to win, and they didn't do it. So,
I'll give you a pass
If they
on
would have listened to me and followed my game plan, we would have won.
Well, the Colts followed the game plan.
The Colts
actually.
listened to me. They must have listened to the show on Friday.
Clearly
and they're like,
they
oh,
did.
shit.
They saw the preview and they're like, oh shit, you know what? He's right.
You know what? We do need to control the run
That's right.
and stop the
35
run.
minutes of clock control? That's
Yes.
how you win a football game.
We should play from ahead? Yes.
Yeah.
No, the Colts definitely put the game plan the Lions needed to in place. So I was wrong that the Lions were going to win, but I was definitely right in what needed to happen for them to win, and they didn't accomplish
Let's not get
any
too
of it.
down. Let's go back into where you were right.
Let's go back into where I was right.
You got me on this one. The Steelers-Ravens game. I had the Ravens winning.
You did?
You had the Steelers winning.
I did.
I have to ask you before you can go on your glorious rant of how right you were.
Oh.
All right?
Oh, it feels good, Adam.
How weird is it that the Steelers, at this point of their evolution as a team under Mike Tomlin, they're 7-0 this late into the year?
That's
They're
right.
the most awkward undefeated team I've ever seen. Maybe not ever, but at least in recent years, like they're a team that's undefeated that late.
Yep.
Like I haven't been that doubtful of a football team since the Lions were 6-2 5 years ago. I was
love
like,
that.
what the hell is this? Oh my God, are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? That's how I feel about the Steelers right now. But their defense is legit. 4 turnovers yesterday. Take the floor.
See, what people need to understand about the Steelers is this is how you build a foundation. Mike Tomlin doesn't have them competing for a Super Bowl every year. Some years they don't make the playoffs, Adam. Some years they look like shit. But you know what they don't do? They don't throw the good coach out because they don't make it one year. They understand that coaching and football, there's ebbs and flows. So to give a guy like Mike Tomlin a chance, you can't just hold him accountable for one bad year. You got to look at the totality of everything he's done. He is a good coach. He did not forget how to coach football overnight. So even if they were 0-7, I guarantee they would probably still keep Tomlin for the next year. And that is my biggest complaint about the Detroit Lions and about what they did to Jim Caldwell. Because Jim
You're so wrong on
Caldwell
this.
was our Tomlin. He
No, he
was
wasn't.
our cement base. He was the guy we could build a foundation around to compete year in and year out till we catch lightning in a bottle that one year. We go to the Super Bowl and we fucking win it. But now we went away from that. We went away from being in the playoffs every other year. We went away from 3 out of 4 years having a winning record because that wasn't good enough for us. When, if you look at teams like the Patriots, because I guarantee they're not getting rid of Belichick this year because he's having a down year.
But they earned it.
Yeah. So what do you
Wait.
mean? How did Caldwell not earn it?
Okay, again,
How did he not earn it?
Okay, 0-2 in the playoffs.
Okay.
Right.
Made the playoffs 2 out of 4
No
years.
division titles. Mike Tomlin, a Super Bowl champion, been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Belichick, we don't need to talk about.
How
his
long
resume.
has Mike Tomlin been the coach?
Over 10 years, easily. Maybe almost 10 years. He has to be pretty long.
Keep talking.
All right, so please don't talk to me about compare Mike Tomlin to Jim Caldwell and Bill Belichick to Jim Caldwell. Now, I agree with that he was our base and our cement and he was what we needed, but please don't use that as an argument.
Why?
Because he didn't earn. Look, whether we agree with the decision to move on,
13 years, man.
13
years.
Whether we agree to move on from Jim Caldwell or not, that was Bob Quinn's decision, and he'll be held accountable later for it.
I understand that.
And it's a different conversation. But Mike Tomlin, if I'm a GM or if I'm an owner, that dude took me to 2 Super Bowls, countless division titles. Caldwell had the division title in the bag.
He hasn't taken you to a Super Bowl in 12 years. Is he a bad coach?
In 12 years, he hasn't gotten you to a Super Bowl? What do you mean? He's been to 2. He's won one.
2008 is when they won.
Yeah, and then they lost to the Packers in 2010, right?
No. 2010, they made it to the AFC Championship.
Mike Tomlin didn't go to 2 Super Bowls? Are you sure?
Maybe he went to the Super Bowl.
Could have swore they lost to the Packers.
Either way, even if I'll give you that. Even that was 10 years ago. So in the past decade,
what did he do in the 10 years?
In the past decade, Mike Tomlin has had, let's see, 1, 2, 3 8-8 seasons. Now,
how many division titles?
It doesn't say on what I'm watching right now. But here's what I'm saying. We panicked when we went 9-7 and said that wasn't good enough.
I'll agree on that.
Nowhere, if you look at Mike Tomlin's record, even when he was below, he went 8-8 in back-to-back years, 2012, 2013. They didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that's kind of what we did. I get it. I'm Team Patricia now. He's our coach. I want him to win. I want the Lions to succeed. But what will always break my heart, what I will always wonder, if we would have given Caldwell 10 years, what he could have done in 10 years. Because we gave him 4, and we made the playoffs twice in those 4 years, which was more than any other coach of the Lions' history could do. He made the playoffs 50% of the time. So, okay, 10 years, 5 more playoff appearances. What could have come out of those? You're telling me we would have lost everything, every game? No. We would have finally broke through.
We would have finally won a playoff game? Is that the breakthrough? I mean, I'm trying to be fair.
Yes, for the Lions it is, Adam. That's the thing.
That's not what our standard should be, though.
But it is. Like, what should our standards be?
No, we shouldn't aim, let's win a playoff game, and, well, gosh damn it, that was good.
Yeah, but when we kick an above 500 football coach to the curb...
That was a stupid decision. I don't think that's
so what is the Lions standards? Me, I've been a Lions fan my whole life. If we get a playoff win, I'm going to consider that a huge moment in Lions history.
Because we haven't won one in 24, 25 years.
But you can't say that Super Bowl or bust for the Lions right now.
It's not Super Bowl or bust.
Then what is your gauge of you're like, so if we win
a roadmap to success, man. And
we had the map, and we crumpled it up and threw it away.
And Jim Caldwell provided that. 11-5 his first year, 7-9 his second year. We stuck with him. 9-7. I believe we made the playoffs that third year, and then the fourth year was 9-7. We didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
But again, it's to earn a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, and 8th year. He had lost 2 playoff games. He had blown the division title his first year. The team...
I don't understand this logic. Like,
dude, what do you mean you don't understand?
Like, that's like the people... I'm not a LeBron fan. I don't love LeBron like that. But that's like people faulting LeBron for losing in the finals. Like, the dude still had to get to the finals. Would you rather have 2 playoff losses with a coach that gets there 50% of the time, or no playoff losses because we don't even make the fucking playoffs?
We don't make the playoffs with Matt Patricia. We
haven't made it with anybody but Caldwell.
Oh my goodness! All right, listen.
No, you listen, man.
No. This is so you can't give. The fact
that you're holding us to 49ers standards or like other standards. We're the Lions. We need to get.
We're the Lions.
We need to conquer playoff wins before we worry about AFC or NFC championships.
Oh my goodness! No,
it's a building process.
No, we need to worry about our division first. We haven't won a division in God knows how long.
Who cares?
What do you mean, who cares, man?
To me, making the playoffs is the only important thing. I don't care if you win the division.
We got dicked on every time we made the playoffs, man. Our best chance was with Calvin Johnson when we went against the New Orleans Saints with that 11-5 year. We had a great team, a top 5 defense, and they dicked us. They put up like 46.
Right, but you can't win a fight if you're not in it. Right?
Yes, I'll agree with you on the playoff logic.
What are we arguing about, man?
We're arguing that you believe that if we give Jim Caldwell 10 years, he had done nothing compared to the other 2 coaches to justify 10 years.
Playoffs. That's not nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing is what we were. Nothing is 0-16. Nothing is never giving ourselves an opportunity to make it to the next level. He gave us that opportunity, and to just be blind to it and be like, oh, no, he's just like every other coach. How How? You're a smart guy, Adam. I love you. I respect you. I think you're a beautiful human being. But on this, you're so fucking wrong.
No,
it's
man,
crazy.
no. You need to understand something. When we're talking about building a foundation, I really believe Jim Caldwell had it. Look at the
and then what do we do?
Fuck the record. Look at the culture of the team. It was a positive locker room. When we lost, it was never like Panic Monday. We were like, all right, we'll bounce back. We'll figure out something. And I'll agree with you on that. And what it's turned into, I agree 100% on. But Mike Tomlin, you can't compare the two situations. They're totally different. When Bob Quinn and that whole fucking organization made the decision to get rid of Jim Caldwell, right or wrong, they made the decision, you know what, this is not our guy, even though he was the guy, and it's fucking been proven. But they made the decision to move on from him.
The reason you can't compare the two.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason you can't compare the two is because we did not give Caldwell enough time to be able to have an actual comparison. That's why.
Fair.
That's why. And that's why you can't compare. In every other aspect, they're comparable. Demeanor, how they coached their football team, the way they played, like stability. That was all. That all means so much to an organization. It means so much to an organization.
But if we're really honest about the Jim Caldwell era, forget the first 2 years. Those last 2 seasons, we were out of every game, and we would make a stupid fourth quarter comeback that would save our asses. And I'm not trying to diminish wins in the NFL because they're fucking hard to get, but
9-7.
we were not a good football team, man.
9-7.
And we're still not a good football team.
9-7 is not a good
football team that won 7 or 8 of them with fourth quarter comeback.
I don't care how you win them. I don't care.
But that's not winnable football. That's why we don't fucking win playoff games, man. And that's why the team now is shit.
How have we done in the playoffs the last 2 seasons?
We didn't make the playoffs. It's not an argument of whether we've done the last 2 seasons. That's not a walk-off coin.
Because we threw away the hottest chick we ever had for this.
We
had the hottest chick the Lions have ever had. Like, the girl wouldn't even normally pay us any attention. The dude had a fucking Super Bowl ring. Mm-hmm. He coached Peyton Manning, had pedigree out the ass. And then we were just like, you know what? There's this thick girl that I like now. She used to be with this other guy who's done really well, so maybe she'll kind of boost me up if I bring her over here. Like, I don't want the thick chick anymore, man. Yeah. Bring me back home. I want boring ass. I come home, dinner's ready. I don't have any questions on I want all reliable. That's what I want, and that's what we had. And
I think our problems are more than just the head coach, but...
Oh, they are now? Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't.
We used to have the head coach.
If Caldwell stays from that 9-7 year, do you really think we win more than 9 games at any point, including this?
Yes, for sure.
No.
Yes, for sure.
No.
Yes.
Matthew Stafford's been in decline for 3 years now, man. Especially after that fucking injury last year. He came out hot last year. He got hurt, and he's been meh at best. Took him 7 games to throw 300 yards one time.
Maybe if we had stability at head coach, we could have the foresight as a franchise to draft the next franchise quarterback, get a Justin Herbert, get a Tua, get someone there so we could be fucking excited for the next year and the next year. Because like you said, Stafford is on the decline. Whether Stafford lovers want to admit it or not, he is, but that's okay. You expect that 12 years into the NFL. Like, nobody gets better after year 12.
I'll throw you this, all right? If Jim Caldwell was the head coach, and we were able to have moved on from Matthew Stafford a year ago, or even this year, I would be more optimistic about the future than I am now.
Right.
You know why? Because I know for sure...
Stability.
Man, fuck the stability. Our quarterback has like a 15% win rate, and probably even less against winning football teams. He's like 9 in like 70 or something. I forgot it. That's how mad I am.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not.
So, again, this isn't just Matthew Stafford is the problem, but...
No, I don't think Stafford's the problem. I think the way we've used him.
I think the way we've used him, the way we've built a team around him, and the one time we did give him a good team, we got knocked out to the Saints, and... I don't know, man.
So either way, Jim Caldwell, come back. I love you.
He's not coming back.
I love you and I miss you.
But Jim Caldwell does deserve a job in the NFL. I'll say that.
He does. I think he's taking time off for health because he was with Miami and then he stepped aside for some health reasons.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope he's okay too. But that was let's go back to where sticks right and sticks wrong. I was
that's all you were right on
about Pittsburgh winning. They're my favorite secondary team in the NFL. Every Lions fan, you should pick a team from the AFC that you like. The only time it'll ever bite you in the ass is when they play in the Super Bowl, and even then, you fall back on Detroit. But for me, I've had the fulfillment of being a mock Steelers fan for a long time, and I like the way that organization does shit. The Rooneys call the Fords and be like, hey, we can help you. Let us guide you through this. This ownership thing is tough. I know the first 50 years have been rocky, but we can get you through the next.
All right, let's go back to where you were wrong. Michigan. I think everybody was wrong. But
no, not everybody. You know who wasn't wrong? Come here, Joey.
Oh, Joey called it?
No, Joey called it, man.
Joey said it was going to be a close game.
So Joey and I went to Ann Arbor on Saturday just to kind of get a vibe of what was going on around the area. We heard that they shut down the whole college, that they weren't going to allow fans at the stadium. But no, Adam, you don't have to leave the whole conversation, man. But where Joey had
Just taking a phone call in the middle of our show.
Everybody was predicting Michigan to lose. Everybody, right? Like the Vegas had them losing by 25 points. But Joey, being the kind of guy he is, you had a smart take on this. And what was your take?
See, even if you have no knowledge about football whatsoever, you don't even got to know the record. When it comes to that rivalry week between Michigan and Michigan State, it doesn't matter what your record is. It doesn't matter about anything, because just that adrenaline kicking in from rivalry week. That's a hard thing to say, by the way. Rivalry week.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't think that Michigan State would win. Don't get me wrong, but I think I projected 28-35 is what Michigan would end up winning, and it wasn't too close. But damn, Michigan freaking State comes to win.
Right, but you were the only person I talked to that was like, "No, guys, you're kind of getting ahead of yourself. Like, the rivalry week. Who knows what'll happen?" And
Can't sleep on State like that.
you can't. And obviously, the rest of the country did. Like, even the most die-hard Michigan State fans that I know were like, I don't even know what to tell you. I'll take the points, I guess.
Right.
Nobody thought they would win outright.
But to be honest, they beat themselves. And just throughout watching the entire game, I can't stand Vincent Gray, the cornerback for Michigan. That dude is horrible. They even benched him. The best part is this dude had so many freaking flags in the first half. They bench him for the second half. Then they bring in this redshirt freshman for the second half, and then he gets a freaking flag. I was like, please.
Yeah, Joey was texting me during it, like, Vincent Gray's getting tore up.
Trash.
You can't call him trash,
I
man.
know. I mean, right. I mean, if you were to guard me or something, maybe he'd shut me down.
He's
but
a much better athlete than I'll ever be. But yeah, it was crazy. To me, the coaching blunders is what got me. Like, Joe Milton is a mobile quarterback, right? Like, he's Cam 2.9. Like,
Yep.
he's the next evolution. And to take him out for the Wildcat offense, like, you take out somebody for the Wildcat offense when it's Drew Brees, like for Taysom Hill, because Drew Brees can't run. You don't do it for Joe Milton. You already have the run-pass option. Like, what are you doing?
I do get it. But when it comes to that formation, the defense doesn't know how to react. Because they brought in, what was his name? Whatever his name was. He wasn't the quarterback.
Right.
So when you bring him in, the defense is on the edge. They don't really know what to expect. So then when he did throw it freaking wide open, I don't know how he didn't do that.
That linebacker made a hell of a play.
He did.
Batting that ball down.
He did.
But for me, I'm just thinking, if I'm on defense and you take your biggest weapon out of the game, it's like, whew, all right, we know they're going to run with this fool. We know if he does pass, he's not the quarterback.
Right.
Like, it just kind of makes you one-dimensional when the Wildcat is supposed to be the exact opposite. It's supposed to make you multi-dimensional.
Yep.
But you're taking Milton, the most multi-dimensional player in the damn Big Ten, well, maybe besides Justin Fields, and you're taking him out of the game. It just that made no sense to me, man. I thought Michigan could have won that game. They had many opportunities, but just ugh.
What about your boy, though? Rocky Lombardi.
Oh, we were talking about him
Rocky.
pregame, man. With a name like that, you have to be good, right?
Yep.
Like, you just have to be good. You're named after two legends.
You know what you got to give it up to, though, is Michigan State's offensive line, because he had so much freaking time in the backfield the entire game.
Yep.
And you got to give it up to them. They don't get enough credit, but that's a big factor as to why they won.
Yeah, Michigan was not putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. What do you think of the vibe of Ann Arbor, though? How weird was that? Do you think that had to play into the game at all? Like, we talked about how the Lions were playing in a dead Ford Field, like Kelly Stafford mentioned it, Philip Rivers mentioned it. Do you think the players for Michigan felt that? Like, this is just dead.
I'm going to ask you a question. You know when we played that rec basketball league that we did?
Yes.
How much better would you play when there was girls in the stands and a whole bunch of people watching you?
Oh, well, I always try harder. I know that much. I don't play better, but I try harder.
You know, and especially being a Michigan athlete in a Michigan State, like, that rivalry is freaking crazy, and the amount of energy you get. What is it? 110,000 fans that are in the big house.
Yeah.
Like you go from that to having, what was there? Probably 1,000 people in the stands. Because they let in some friends and
family. But Joey and I were driving around all of Ann Arbor like for an hour before the game. And normally on games like this, Joey and I have gone to that game in the past in Ann Arbor, and like we had to schedule a parking spot days in advance, try to find people that would be cool with us hanging out at their house. Like there was just tons of shit that went into it. We literally just drove right to the stadium, saw Brad Galley from XYZ.
That was it.
Gave a shout out to him, and then we drove around trying to find kids doing anything.
The best part was we met, he was a sophomore for the wrestling team. His name was Cole.
Yes.
The Michigan wrestling team. This dude just out there raking his leaves, minding his own business.
30 minutes before the biggest rivalry in the state, homeboys just... But that was kind of the vibe out there. There were literally more people raking leaves than playing beer pong.
Yeah, and I'm proud of them. You know, I mean, they put that order out there to say, hey, if you do it, and I'm sure they threatened them. They probably said, if you try and party or whatever, have tailgates going on, we're gonna probably kick you out of school.
Well, remember we stopped and saw that frat. It was literally the only frat that was there. Joey and I go by in the Woodward Sports vehicle. We honk. They go nuts. We're like, oh, cool. Those guys are awesome. Let's stop and talk to them. We stop, get out of the car to go talk to them. They're all like, oh, hey, oh. They didn't want us to come on their property. They saw that you were recording, and they were like, hey, we were kind of worried because if the university sees this, we'll get expelled. Like, not just like slap on the wrist, like
you're gone.
Get the fuck out of University of Michigan that you worked your whole life to get into.
Right.
And then me and Joey's dumbass, we were gonna bribe them with some cash, but then we realized, oh, these are U of M kids. They're rich as hell.
Right.
They don't
care about some cash.
They'll just call daddy and get their cash, man.
But speaking of cash,
yeah. Do it, Joey. Tell them about the cash.
Listen. What do we want to do it on? Should we do it on Instagram to start?
Whatever you want, man.
Let's do Instagram to start.
Okay.
So we got a fat stack of cash. Don't tell Chad we stole it from Chad. Fat stack, right? So we got $100 here in singles. So the best was when Stick and I went to the bank, and Adam. We go to the bank and we're like, hey, could we withdraw $800 in singles? She looks at us and says, it was a Monday too. Oh, you guys are going to have some fun tonight.
Where are you going tonight?
Where are you going? So, if you, we'll post this at probably noon today. We're going to have a contest for you to win $100 cash, and we're going to do this for 8 weeks. It's just a cash contest, so you got to be following Woodward Sports on Instagram today, and we're going to pick a random winner. Look at all the stacks we got.
Yes, for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be giving out $100 a week on our social platforms. So, if you are watching right now or you know somebody, you're going to... Ow! Jesus, Joey there. Reminds me of the time we went to the strip club and actually we just threw the whole block at her. We didn't make it rain on her.
You didn't think about that. That might hurt a little bit.
Hit her right in the stomach. But either way, follow us. It's at Woodward Sports. On all social media for the next couple weeks, and we're giving out cash. That's it. It's that easy. Just follow us.
Right.
So Joey's going to put a post up.
Noon o'clock today.
All right.
Let's do it.
So yeah, Joey.
It was fun though, man. It was a fun weekend. I really did expect more out of Ann Arbor, but like I said, I'm proud of them. I can't believe they really did listen to rules like that. Even the golf course. The golf course was empty.
That was crazy. I've never seen that golf course without people on it. Or how about the barricade to get into the stadium? Like, there's nobody around for miles, and the police are standing there with barricades like somebody's going to gun it just to get into the game.
Right, like, we see you, Mr. Officer. Yeah. We're not trying to get by you.
No, but shout out to all the police that were out there. They were all very nice. Yep. Joey's yelling at them outside the vehicle. Hey, thank you very much for your service.
Thanks for your service. we got to show them love, seriously.
And they're all responding. So the Ann Arbor Police, thank you very much. I had a lot of fun, even though there was nothing. I couldn't believe that we were the only news organization besides XYZ that was out there reporting on it.
You're calling us news too?
Like we us? We're legit. We're legit. We're on scene, baby.
That was crazy. And then Brad Galley, Channel 7, shout out to them.
Yeah, check out their Facebook Live if you want to see me and Joey bust in out of nowhere. And then we almost get hit by a semi, so that was
the best part, the semi truck.
That was fun. But it was a great time up in Ann Arbor. It was really being a part of history, man. Like, you will never see Ann Arbor that way again, God willing, for a Michigan State game. Never.
And I hope we don't.
Yeah.
I hope we never have to see that again.
No, it was sad. I felt so bad for the students. Kory actually interviewed a couple of the students, and the guy was like, man, this sucks. Like, this state week, ain't nobody out. This sucks. And you just felt so bad.
Right.
When you go to Michigan, that was the week, man. It's like when you go to Western, it's Western Central weekend, you know?
Yep.
I don't know.
Especially being a freshman, like
Oh.
you were living for this moment. Don't forget that their senior year of high school was just ruined because of all this. So they didn't get to go to prom, they didn't get to have graduation parties or any of that fun stuff.
Man, so kids, keep your heads up. We'll be able to party at Michigan in no time,
yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
But that was a great time. Once again, follow us on social media. Joey's got the stacks of cash right here.
Bam, $100. We're gonna give it to you today if you're following us at Woodward Sports on Instagram. We're going to be picking a random winner.
Today. We're picking the winner tonight?
Today, yeah, we'll pick it tonight.
All right, cool. Well, we'll get that up so everybody follows us. Adam, you want to get back into where I was right and where I was wrong?
He's only saying that because he just wants you to congratulate him on some more rights.
Oh my God! I mean, I was more right than he was this weekend.
What?
Come on! I mean, you want to talk about the Titans Bengals? Or
We can talk about the
or
Titans
do you want to?
Bengals.
Do you want to actually talk about Michigan State?
We could talk about the game if you want. Joey kind of touched on it.
Yeah.
It was a shit show.
Yeah, but were you surprised?
Yes, I was
Really?
shocked.
Really?
Shocked, floored.
That has been Jim Harbaugh for the last 5 years. He wins. He wins most of his games. Loses one or two bad games during the year, and then he gets shellacked by Ohio State.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised.
I saw a lot of people panicking
No,
on Facebook.
no panic.
Fire Harbaugh! Fire Harbaugh! And this was the point I made to Anson yesterday. Like, listen, I know you're panicking now, but if Harbaugh wins out the rest of the season and beats OSU, you still going to be hollering, fire Harbaugh? No.
It's too early. Same reason with Patricia. Although you may not like him, may not like the record, 3-4, the season's still ahead of them. If they lose the next 3 games, hey,
Yeah.
all right, I'll put
Cool.
my hands up. Cool,
Right.
on board. But let the fucking team play.
Can we let the season play out
Please.
before we're just like, oh, let's lose every game? Like,
Fuck. Imagine right now, let's just use the Lions as an example. We would have to lose the next 9 games to justify losing the season.
Yeah.
Because you'd want a top pick if you're throwing away the season this early. So it's just not good. I don't like that mentality, but
and let's be honest, we're not going to match the Jets at sucking.
no.
No one sucks harder than the Jets.
Nobody sucks harder than the Jets.
Gary V, I love you, man, but I'm
God
sorry,
damn it.
your team sucks.
Yeah.
When's
You gotta-
he going to buy the Jets?
I don't know. He said he wants to buy them. Gary, get on it, man.
Yeah, what are you
should
doing?
know better.
What are you doing?
Fucking
Don't.
go fix that shit. Nobody likes a bad Jets team. What about New York, though? They got the Knicks, dick. Jets, dick. Giants, really dick. What else they got? The Rangers, meh.
I have a rough time talking shit as a Detroit fan right
Oh,
now.
I know. I'm not talking shit. I'm just giving
all
them
of-
reality.
This is like, honestly, the past 3 years, it's been one of the darkest times in Detroit sports
Oh my
history.
goodness.
And we decided to start a sports network. Because you know why? We can only go up from here, baby.
That's right,
can
baby.
only go up. Red Wings going up. Pistons going up. Lions going up. Tigers.
Let's wrap
Going
up. Let's wrap up where you were right and wrong.
Okay.
You were pretty wrong about the Titans-Bengals game. I told you it was a
wrong?
trap game.
Not only was I wrong about that, the Titans got their ass beat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, beat.
Joe Burrow,
Joe Burrow.
unbelievable. Good for you. And I want to touch on another rookie quarterback. We love to talk about him.
Quit touching on rookies.
I love touching rookies. That's a good clip. But,
Kory, can you clip that for us? Thanks.
but Justin Herbert yesterday,
Played
pretty good.
Beautiful man.
he just had a game that a rookie would have. 2 turnovers. Like, whatever. It's fine. Move on. He's only thrown 4 interceptions the whole year. No need to panic on Herbert. Drew Lock looked good last night, so everybody shitting on Drew Lock, fuck you too.
You know who looked really good in that game?
Hamler?
KJ Hamler. KJ Hamler looked good. That's who looked good. KJ Hamler out of Pontiac, Michigan.
Oh, man.
Yaktown, stand up. Let's go.
I love it. All right, what do you got next, Sam?
Well, for my right and wrong, I was pretty right on my sticks picks, and I've been nailing those all season long. I went 3 of 4 in guys that you should start in your fantasy league, and these aren't like your typical starters. These are, I kind of take a reach, but I kind of think these are the guys that'll have hot games. I nailed it on one of them. Everybody else, serviceable. So I had quarterback Joe Burrow.
Yep.
If you don't have him as a starter by now, what are you doing?
Unless you have like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson.
Right, but you may have drafted him as your backup, but
Yeah.
still. Even he had a down game yesterday, and he still had 249 and 2 TDs.
He was efficient. He didn't turn the ball over.
He didn't blow it up by any means, but I would be happy with that if I started Joe Burrow.
Recipe for success. Don't turn over.
Where I hit the home run, Brandon Ayuk.
Yep.
Yeah, he had 8 receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown. This kid is an absolute freak in San Francisco. And with Deebo Samuel out, with George Kittle maybe never playing again, Garoppolo's ankle is dead. He's going to be the guy that gets all the targets, all the reverses, all the fun gadget plays, because he is their gadget player.
The news on Kittle actually is there was no fracture in the X-ray, but they're doing an MRI to see if there's any ligament damage.
That's fine. He only got me 5 points in fantasy football, and I'm only up by 5 points. I need Gronk to score 0 tonight to win and stay 6. I'll go 7-1 in my dynasty league if I win.
Well, it's probably not going to end well for you because we both have the Bucks smashing the Giants today.
Yeah, there's that. Boston Scott. Serviceable start.
10 points.
Yeah.
10
serviceable.
points. No.
And that's what I said.
If you need him in your lineup, that means you're in trouble. 10 points is a fucking good deal.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like, these aren't guys like, your typical names that we know you got to start. No. You go with Boston Scott. What do you have? 70 yards on the ground, 2 receptions, 9 yards in a PPR league. That helps you out even a little bit more. So I'm happy with that. The only one I kind of got wrong, even though it was a better game than he's had the past 2 weeks, was Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith did dick. 2 receptions, 29 yards.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill didn't have his best game, but weather wasn't really perfect. That was more of a Derrick Henry game, and the Bengals did a good job. I know he ran for over 130 yards, but that wasn't the Derrick Henry I think we've all become used to.
So. No. So that's where during Sticks Picks, which you can see I put them up every Saturday, so you get a little head start on your fantasy football. It's up on woodwardsports.com. So I went 3 or 4 this week. I was pretty happy with that.
We both did good on our 3 locks of the weekend, though.
Did we?
Picking games. Yeah. So in the Kansas City Jets game, that was our automatic lock. We both had Kansas City winning that game. Titans, Bengals. I had the Bengals. You had the Titans. Yeah. So we're both even on that. And then, of course, Steelers, Ravens. You got the Steelers.
Mike Tomlin, baby.
So we both finished 2-1. I'll get a total tally for how we're doing on the season later.
I think we're killing it, man.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good
about that.
Good job. Shout out to Ryan Tannehill, though, for living up to his potential.
Yeah.
Tennessee. Good for him.
Well, don't forget to follow us on social media. I'm sorry, all this stacks of cash keep distracting me. We're giving out hundreds of dollars.
You want to pull that Johnny Manziel?
Hundreds of dollars on social media. You got to follow us at Woodward Sports, and we're giving it away. Adam, any other topics you want to get into? Kory, you got anything you want to add today?
You got anything, buddy?
Tank Davis really killed the man.
Tank Davis nearly did kill a man yesterday, yeah. Oh, and how about Wims? He almost killed a man. Snatched his chain and punched him twice. Did you see that video?
I did not, actually.
Oh, my God. We got to watch that right when we get off the air here. Oh, this money smells good.
All right, well, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share, all that good stuff.
All right, come over, Joey.
Come here,
what
Joey.
You got, baby?
I got a topic.
Come here, Joey.
There's some ass whooping going down on the local level here with the high school prep
boys football. I didn't know we were going to hit it today, man. I didn't know we were going to hit it today, man. All right, you ready for it?
I'm a Brother Ice guy.
So, Division 2, right?
Aren't they 3 now or something?
Okay, Division 3.
Not enough students. Whatever division they're in.
Playoffs is going on. St. Mary's played on Friday, beating Pinckney. Moving on to the next round to play.
They beat Pinckney, by the way. Like, really?
To play Joey Radio's own
Brother Rice Warriors.
Okay, so if you've been following me and Joey for many years in Detroit when we were doing the night show, and we would always bet on this game, like in big ways. Like I've been on stage in a diaper because St. Mary's lost. I've been able to
literally you're shirtless with just a freaking diaper on in front of 1,000 people on stage at one of our events at Electricity.
Yep, and I've been able to smack Joey with a handful of shaving cream.
Yep.
Because Brother Rice lost. I think that was a basketball bet, but we got football going on this Friday. Brother Rice has already beat St. Mary's this year. You guys won on St. Mary's Field, I think, for the first time ever this year.
That beautiful red turf.
That's right.
And St. Mary's only win was against Walled Lake Western.
Yeah, and then they kind of canceled the season for a bit. So I think St. Mary's, if we could stop this little, you guys had this little tight end running the same seam route over and over and over in that first loss to you guys. If we could stop that seam route, I got St. Mary's in this, man.
We're going to, by the way. We're going to be at the game on Friday. You're going to see the Woodward Sports vehicle there.
Let's go!
And it is going down. I'm excited, man. All high school football playoffs going on this weekend. Good luck to all teams, but warm the bus up for the St. Mary's Eaglets because they going down, baby.
I don't see that happening, Joey. What I see happening is Brother Rice getting cocky off their first victory over us on our home field ever. And that being a big deal. I'm sure those kids are, I'm sure they already made plaques and have them up in their room. First time ever beating St. Mary's on their field. But
on your pretty red football turf field that you guys got.
Where is your field, by the way?
I don't know where the field is this year. We got, all right, so you know the backstory to it? We have a badass field that some alum donated, but we're not allowed to have fans because of the neighbors in the backyard.
Or you just don't have any fans.
We got fans. We got fans.
No, I have a lot of respect for the Brother Rice program. I mean, Al Fracassa,
man, legend,
legendary coach. My friends that I grew up, I was in Little League I was an umpire for Commerce Little League, and I grew up with these kids called the Pickens. There were four Pickens boys that went through. The Goebels went through. I mean, Brother Rice has turned out some great athletes over the past couple of years. But how many Brother Rice wide receivers are in the NFL right now?
Man, really? Shout out to Allen Robinson and Hamlin and all the guys you guys got.
Hamler, put some goddamn
whatever
respect.
His name is, Hamler.
KJ Hamler.
Hey, he didn't get that first touchdown of his career was sweet.
Game-winning touchdown KJ Hamler is how you must refer to him from now on.
I'm trying to think of who we got right now. Any Brother Rice guys in there? I mean, shout out to TJ Lang.
Yeah, TJ. I mean, he's a local guy. TJ Lang
TJ Lang's a legend
in the NFL.
For sure.
Brother Rice has turned. A couple kids went to Michigan a couple years ago.
Yep.
Then the quarterback transferred. But either way, I mean, when this game happens, it's always a fun rivalry. Joey, do we know what we want to bet this week, or do we want to kind of think about it?
Let's think about it. We'll announce it later this week, but we will do something crazy. We have to.
Anybody has any suggestions, put it on our Facebook Live right now. Let us know what you think we should bet. And it could be anything, like Joey has to walk across Woodward naked. What do you think about that?
Let's do it.
That's for you. I don't know.
Dude, let's do that. All right, how about this? Because we're out on Woodward.
Right.
You see it behind me right now. What if right in the middle, like the median right there, someone's got to stand there with the poster board in there and just straight underwear.
In underwear?
Straight underwear.
What is the poster board saying?
That's up to you. You decide whatever you guys want on that poster board to everyone watching.
Okay.
We'll come up with that. That'd be a good one.
Whoever wins got to stand out on Woodward at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. when we feel
so cold. You're the one that's going to have to feel that cold, though, so
man.
Get ready.
I love these games when they match up, especially in the playoffs. Like St. Mary's and Brother Rice play each other every regular season, but playoffs just mean so much more, man. And like we were talking earlier with the college kids, having last year kind of ripped away from them their senior year, and the freshman year at U of M is just kind of weird. I'm so glad these kids are getting a chance to play ball.
Me too. It's tough, though, because we really haven't seen enough out of both teams to see how amazing they are this year.
Right.
And, I mean, they've both been losing against their Catholic League teams. Like, CC beat both of us.
CC looks strong this year, man.
So it's going to be interesting, but we don't care. We're standing for our team, and we're betting against the other.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just happy we get to watch these kids play. The seniors getting to play their last game against their rival. Like, that would have meant so much. That would have hurt so much my senior year not to play Brother Rice.
Yes.
Even though when we beat Brother Rice. Every time we played them when I was in high school.
We'll see Friday. Hey, pass is the pass. Friday's Friday. Let's do this.
Friday is Friday. It's going to decide the future. I think the winner of this game will be going to Ford Field. I like.
Wow, already?
Well, no, not. Like,
you're saying the winner will.
I'm saying the winner of this game will eventually get to Ford Field. But I got to take St. Mary's in this game. George Port, the 21 trap, tough to stop, baby. Tough to stop.
I'm going to stick. I got to take St. Mary's. I'm just kidding.
So that's a big Friday night football game we got coming up. It's going to be a big week around here. Monday Night Football. We didn't even cover Monday Night Football. Do you want to talk about that, Adam? Kory? Either of you guys want to come over here? Let's go, Kory. Tap in, Kory.
Come be a star.
Ladies and gentlemen, straight from Ferndale High, representing the haircut at Woodward Sports because he got lined up by his boy.
Shout out to Moose.
It's Kory Woods.
What's going on?
Monday Night Football is going on. But first, let me talk to you about your experience Saturday at Michigan, at U of M. Because when Joey and I were driving around in the truck, you saw us because it was pretty easy to spot anybody there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you see that big Woodward Sports logo on that sweet-ass Jeep.
Thank you, Zod.
It's hard to miss.
Right. And you ran up to us, and you're like, hey, guys, what's going on? And me and Joey just looked at you and Blake like, hey, we're trying to find what's going on. You had a couple interviews. You were able to get into some things. What was your experience like at Ann Arbor on Saturday?
Well, first off, just from covering the game the past couple of years as a photographer and a journalist, and just being in the area because I went to Eastern Michigan University, I've never seen, forget Michigan versus Michigan State, I've never seen a Michigan home game look like that. When it's a Michigan home game, you have to get up to Ann Arbor about, if it's a noon game, you have to get to Ann Arbor about 6-7 a.m. to really find parking. How you, Joey, myself were able to just walk around freely and drive around Ann Arbor during a home game
and find each other.
That doesn't happen ever for anybody. So that was, honestly, it was a sad thing to see because it like I said on the article I put on woodwardsports.com, Michigan football, really college football is dead without fans, but specifically Michigan football with no fans, no student section, just nobody going crazy, no tailgate at Ann Arbor Pioneer High School parking lot.
Empty.
Like you guys said, the golf course is empty. It's not Michigan football. It's not a Michigan home game. So it was a pretty surreal experience. And like you said, I hope we don't ever see that again.
Right. But you were able to make yourself into some bars. How was the bar scene?
Bar scenes were. I interviewed a guy named Dan Baker.
Okay.
And he's a longtime Michigan fan. He's been a fan for about 35 years. And
smoking hot wife, by the way. Good for you, Dan.
He spoke it truly when he said that he was able to grab a beer. That does not happen in a bar in a Michigan game. You're going to be waiting minutes, sometime maybe an hour to grab a beer. The fact that he was able to just grab them like that says a lot. The bars are pretty empty. Trying to go around the whole city to find action, to find commotion. It was hard. I've seen a couple of kids outside playing beer pong, and they said this is what we're reduced to.
Yeah.
It was just the four of us.
No, that interview was great because you could really tell those kids were hurt. They were saying listen, it's Halloween, first of all. There should be scattered ass all over the place, dressed up in whatever they want to dress up in. This should be a wild party. We should have 100 people in our house. Our bathroom should be getting puked in right now. It should be the full college experience. And those kids are just yeah, it's just me and my homies. We're playing beer pong. This is it.
I mean, it was hard to get excited.
It was.
And I believe, not making any excuses for Michigan. Michigan State came out and played a hell of a game, but for anybody just to be at your home games and not be able to feed off the energy of the crowd or just people in the whole city, it sucks.
Yeah, it definitely was a weird go. I expected to see fucking tumbleweeds go by at some point. It was just very strange. The M Den that sets up right there. Usually you can't even get in there to buy stuff. Nobody buying anything. Cops just blocking off roads for no reason, really. Just no, can't drive here anymore.
Yeah, well, the M did get a customer out of me. I might have been their only customer that hour.
What'd you buy, man? What'd you rock?
Well, I went ahead and got me a blue Michigan football hoodie with the Jordan logo on there. I had to get one.
Is this what you were posting about? Every time you buy something, you're like a curse?
I believe I might be the jinx. I might be the
Run
jinx.
it down. What has happened? What did your tweet say or whatever?
So there's a store in Ann Arbor on Southview called Motivation. They had a revenge tour shirt. Remember the revenge tour with Wino?
I remember that.
So I bought that. They ended up losing. I went to the Peach Bowl to cover that game. I bought the Peach Bowl hoodie versus the Gators versus Wolverines hoodie. They lost that game. I went and bought a Wolverines shirt from my friend PL. Shout out to PL. They lost that following game. I bought this Michigan shirt, this Michigan blue hoodie. They lost that game. So I think what I'm going to stop doing is before Michigan games, if they don't, you know what? I'm not going to buy any more merchandise before Michigan games.
Buy it after the game, man.
Yeah, after the game. If
after
they win,
the game.
Then I'll just throw it on and boom.
Right.
Because I'm 0-4 buying Michigan stuff before the game. I'm 0-4.
Are you a Michigan or Michigan State fan? We really haven't talked about that at all.
I'm a Michigan fan.
Okay.
I not gonna lie, I throw my jabs at Spartans all the time. But I'm a fan of Michigan State when they're playing somebody else who's not. If they're in a bowl game and they're playing somebody else, I want them to win. But if they're playing Michigan, I'm always gonna go for Michigan. I'm always going to go for Michigan.
You're always going to go for Michigan?
Always going to go for Michigan.
I just always want to see a good game. That's the only thing I ever really care about is seeing a good game between those two. I do have some loyalties towards Michigan, but I definitely have a lot better experience at Michigan State. Shout out to all the girls at Michigan State.
I mean, it's hard to not have a good experience at Michigan State. It's the biggest college campus in the country.
And it's a party. It's a Sparty party. Everywhere you go, man, just stumble into a random house, be like, what's up? And let me get a cup for that keg. And, oh, man, those Michigan State parties back in the day would get wild.
Michigan can get wild too, but I believe it's no comparison. It's no comparison.
Yeah, I've never been to like a crazy U of M party. I've been to a bunch of U of M parties, but I've never been to one where it's like, holy shit, man, like someone's going to get murdered here.
You got to go to the frat parties. That's where it's at.
Okay.
The frat parties is where it's at.
I've been to a couple, but I just feel like a random house party at State is equal to like just a frat party at Michigan.
You know what? I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue that.
You go to Cedar Village, man. It's a party. And then, I went up there in 2000 after they won the NCAA championship. I was going to University of Detroit, and we're like, fuck it. They just won. Let's drive an hour. Me and my boy Kyle and my boy Drew drove up there, and we celebrated like we had just won the national championship as well. I mean, we were in Cedar Village. We were burning couches. We were partying. I love Michigan State when they win. It's so fun up there.
Well, see, I went to Eastern Michigan, and we don't have a winning football culture. Sometimes you might forget that we actually have a football team.
Yeah.
But the great thing about that was that Michigan is right up the road, so we will kind of like just go piggyback off of their wins. Like, oh, Michigan won. Yeah, let's just go drive 10 minutes. I've watched it all. Then boom, we're there. We're partying with them. So, I will say that's probably I've always loved Michigan since a kid, but just going to college at Eastern Michigan, that's probably another reason why, because I was close to winning football.
Right. Eastern's always had decent basketball teams, though.
Oh, yeah. We've always had decent basketball teams.
Earl the Pearl Boykins, baby. I love Earl Boykins. Remember him back in the day?
Yeah, I do remember Earl, but, I mean, if you talk about Eastern basketball players, you got to mention the Iceman.
Oh, okay, yeah. George Gervin?
Got to mention him.
Got to mention him. He was like Tayshaun 2.0, man, or he was the original Tayshaun. That's who I used to compare Tayshaun to. Just that silky smooth game.
Yeah.
Extend those fucking just unroll your arms 9,000 feet and lay it in. Yeah, Gervin's the man.
Even though Gervin had to he got in my butt a little bit at the All-Star game this year.
What does that mean?
Well, he
clarify that.
You know what? I do gotta certify
Pause
that.
And clarify that.
Pause. But no, he got on me because I was like, yeah, what's up, fellow Eagle? He said, I'm a Huron. I'm like, oh, my bad. So,
yeah.
Sorry.
That's
sorry,
all right,
George.
man. Well, I'm glad you had a good time at Ann Arbor. We did too, even though it was just cool to be a part of history, even though it was kind of a shitty part of history, I guess.
I think that's to say the least. I pray we never see anything like that again. Like, that was god awful, and just not even just for the Michigan fans, for Michigan State too. Like, their players, like some of those guys will never play in that rivalry again. Some of those that might have been their first game, and whoa, this is it. This is the rivalry.
I know you dream about walking out of that tunnel, seeing 110,000 fans just cheering, going nuts, and you walk out, and it's just like when you go on your school visit, like, oh, this is a big house, cool. You know,
and COVID, and honestly, COVID killed me too, as far as being in the game, because they've limited their media access. So for the past 2 seasons, those home games, I've been on the field, getting photos. And if you've never been on the sidelines of a Michigan home game, it is nothing like, whether they win or lose, it is nothing like it. Yeah. It's a different type of adrenaline and intensity.
That's beautiful, man. Well, Ann Arbor will get back to normal, hopefully soon, eventually. Maybe not be by the end of this football season, but hopefully next Michigan State game is completely different.
Hopefully so. I guess I'll have to go to, might be in East Lansing probably next year. I guess I'll have to go up there.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring that truck next year and have some fun in East Lansing. So that's it. It's your Monday morning, 8 a.m. sports talk on Woodward Sports. Thank you for everybody that's been watching on Facebook. Kory was actually doing our production end today. How'd you feel doing that end, man?
That was different. I liked it. I'm gotta pay attention just to kind of see when the break, cut in between back and forth. That was just trying to gauge between how to do that was interesting.
Yeah.
I liked it though.
Yeah, so we're still playing with all the video, all the technology that we have. We just got our new big computer installed, so we will never crash again. Still building up this studio. I think, let's see, in about a week we can make our official announcements, maybe?
Oh, crap. Here we go. It's about to get real.
Yep, so everybody that's been following around this whole time, just know that this has just been us testing everything, right?
This is the calm before the storm.
That's exactly it. So instead of us doing all this shit behind the scenes, we figured we'd do it live. You could see our warts. You could see our hiccups. You can watch us grow. And then eventually when we look like SportsCenter and we look like all the big agencies, you could be like, man, I remember when Woodward Sports couldn't even put up a live video without crashing.
Started from the bottom, then we're here.
Yeah, that's it, and that's why we got Kory along. It's going to be a fun ride. So in the next couple weeks, I promise you, at least by Thanksgiving, you will have a ton of new sports entertainment in Detroit, right?
I think that's just. I think he's underselling it. It's gonna be bigger than what you think.
All right, so let me do this. Before Thanksgiving, you are going to have the best sports network to ever live on the planet right here in Detroit, built by Detroiters, all digital, to your phone so you can take a poop and listen about the Lions.
See, that's why he does that and I don't.
Thank you, man. Thanks for watching this morning. Please share this. Please let your friends know about Woodward Sports. Please follow us on social media so we can give you stacks of money. Today, Instagram. Who knows what it'll be tomorrow? Maybe Twitter. So you might as well follow us on everything right now. At Woodward Sports, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, MySpace, whatever you're on, find us and we'll find you and hand you some cash. So thanks for waking up with us. Busy Monday. We got a lot of shit going on today. Have a great day, Detroit.